You know, it isn't like every day you get kind of interesting articles like this one, where someone has been spreading a virus to other people while he most likely knew about it and he just didn't care. He was more worried about his willy and in which dilly he can put it. But for today's article, I think you guys will be interested more than enough on what is happening at the moment in Korea with the YouTuber YAKULT. So I found this article and I must say I get really quickly intrigued on these type of articles because especially in 2022, the amount of unorthodox practices that happen, especially among celebrities with people that are not celebrities, you know, that abuse their powers more or less, is coming out more and more. And you can even see that these kind of practices take part in Korea. So the article is basically the former YouTuber and pharmacist. So imagine he has a bit of a healthcare system behind him. You know, he should know what he's doing is actually bad. YAKULT is found guilty of knowingly spreading herpes to women. Now, herpes is a sexually spread disease, and I just don't understand how a pharmacist can do this. Most likely it's because he's actually a YouTuber, he has some fame, and he's abusing that fame for his own needs and wants. And it must have been successful because it takes a lot of people, you know, to just claim something like this. So something must have happened where these women got in contact with each other. But anyway, let's jump more into the article. Former YouTuber and pharmacist YAKULT has been found guilty of knowingly spreading herpes to women. Yeah, this is really bad. Like I already said, if you are a pharmacist, you should be helping people with the right medicine, not with the injection that you think you should have and spreading herpes inside of it. This is quite disturbing if you think about it in that sense. According to the Sports Kyung-young, YAKULT was sentenced to 8 months in prison, suspended for 2 years, which means he won't be spending time in prison unless he repeats a similar crime in a 2-year time span for spreading the herpes 2 virus to sexual partners. I cannot imagine this little man actually got away with prison. By the way, I was editing and I was looking up some information about him actually regarding all the extra information, but I also found out that he actually has some text messages. Again, these text messages, I cannot claim if they are true or not, but if you do want to read them, I'll put the link in the description below on what the entire situation is about. It's basically her discussing about, you know, what the problem is and what she has gone through and everything. But what I really love about this entire controversial part is that he actually deletes all of his videos on YouTube. I don't understand to why people do this on YouTube. Why in the whole world would you delete all your videos to prove that you're actually guilty? It's the most redundant thing you can do, especially when it comes to PR. You should not just go on a deleting spree or even just, you know, unlist them on YouTube. Just leave them there. You might still have done something good for YouTube. If you want to do it, delete your channel. That is the right way to do it. Just say you're full of shame, you cannot deal with it anymore, I'm sorry, goodbye. But deleting your videos or unlisting them, again, we cannot see what he did in the background. This is something that actually shows how he is as a person. You know, he knows what he did is wrong, and I'm wondering how he is actually going to deal with this. And on top of that, can I just admit that this person is actually using a doctor type of pharmacist picture as his profile picture, and with that, he still infected people with herpes. Oh my god, what a person this is. Unbelievable. I remember the time when we still have corona. We still have corona. And if you look at China, for example, they take this shit really serious. Why does this man not even get prison? Because he's actually affecting people's lives. Of course, you can heal herpes. I mean, not all the time, but I heard that you can actually heal it. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. But you still are affecting people's lives with you knowing that you have it. So why doesn't this person go to prison even for a certain amount of time? It's just so absurd, because if we look at corona again, people went to prison, people got fines for thousands and thousands of euros, people were in lockdown because of the healthcare system, but this guy can just walk away because it's just classified as a different sickness, even though in my opinion herpes is worse than corona. Herpes is something that can stay with you forever. Judge Kim Min-yo stated, as the accused is a pharmacist, it's established that his actions were deliberate. Yeah, like I actually said, he is someone who knows knows what herpes is, and he should not be spreading it. If it was someone like me and you don't know what herpes is, maybe the entire outcome would have been different. Who knows? But this guy is someone that works with the healthcare. It's completely deliberate. The accused had herpes 2 virus and the victim showed early signs of the virus. It's impossible to deny the relationship. Yeah, also it's very easy to track herpes. You can actually track who got it first, more or less. It's something that can just add up, especially if the partners come together, aka all the women come together. They can all say like, who did you sleep with? And if they all have the same partner, ding 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 ding, this guy YAKULT wins the lottery and his name will be brought to be sentenced. And I'm actually happy that he did get sentenced, and I also hope that he actually gets suspended on his pharmacist title, because hey, fuck him for doing this deliberately. It's terrible. YAKULT initially gained popularity on NBC's My Little Television. One victim alleged, YAKULT ignored my request to use a condom. After having intercourse with him, I went to the hospital not feeling well, and I was diagnosed with herpes 2. I am actually happy that the victim did go to the hospital, to see what actually happened, because if you don't feel well, you might as well want to get checked up, and that's a legit thing you should do. For example, I get my bloods tested every half year because I want to know if I'm actually okay or if something happened to me over that period of time for whatever reason. This victim was the smartest of all, and hey, again, this guy is actually just terrible for what he did. I mean, again, if you're that type of person that knows what you have and you deliberately spread it, you are a bad person. You should be put away for some time and really just think about your actions, because this is exactly someone who actually abuses the power for their own gain and needs. It's terrible. It shouldn't happen. And these things, I didn't really expect they would happen like this in Korea. I thought Korea is very strict, especially when it comes to their healthcare, but it really seems that their people abuse it as well. It's completely messed up and it shouldn't happen. I mean, guys, what do you think of the story? This to me is one of the weirdest stories that I've read in a long time, especially in the Korean world. I know this is not really K-pop related, but it is still something that we should be talking about, because it shows that this does happen in the world itself of Korea. And most likely as well, and not only most likely, it certainly does globally. I am curious if this will ever happen as well in the K-pop world. There are some allegations made in the past, but there is never any hard proof. But this little idiot did have the proof, which is his herpes. His biggest sickness was also his biggest evidence. He really just messed up. Instead of just dealing with it, he did it. And well deserved. I'll catch you on the next video, guys.